All right, looks like we are live here. So we're gonna wait for some people to get on here before we get started here tonight. Usually I just turn this thing on and start, but I'm gonna let you guys get in here a little bit first. For those of you watching this back not live, I'm gonna give these guys a minute or so to start popping in here. Got somebody on there. How you doing out there? So yeah, we're gonna talk some racing here on the Hotlap here tonight. Jim Jones, nice to see you, sir. Keith Krause is here. Nice to see you, Keith. So again, this is episode 3 of the Hotlap here at New Smyrna. I'm your host, Ryan Stevens, and we're going to talk some racing here today. After we had the Clyde Hart Memorial just a couple days ago. My dog's trying to get in here, of course. That's what I get for not putting him up. Anyway, so yeah, we had the Clyde Hart Memorial, and if you're wondering where the recap for that has been, I apologize for being a little late on that. I was working, trying to see how we can improve this, and we've come up with an idea. Me and Adam, our marketing guy, we've come up with a podcast that we're going to do on a weekly basis as well, and so we're going to have that be its own separate thing. I'm going to continue to do this, so this will be just a Facebook Live sort of deal where I get on here and talk to you guys about the races and what's going on at New Smyrna, and I'll try to answer questions as we go. I'm getting better at this Facebook Live thing. I'm kind of a rookie here, so I'll get better as we go along. So let's dive right in to the thick of things here. Of course, we had the Clyde Hart Memorial last Thursday, a week ago, and man, another crazy night out at the racetrack with Mother Nature and all that. So yeah, Daniel, we're going to be doing a podcast. Me and Adam, the marketing guy, we were kind of thinking, where can we take things, and we were going to kind of convert this show into a podcast, and then he decided that we should have this and the podcast because the more the merrier. So we're going to do a podcast at the racetrack, and we'll grow that and try to grow this as well. And it's kind of bare bones, but I appreciate all the views that we've gotten so far. But again, back to the Clyde Hart Memorial. It was a crazy day with the rain, but I got to thank the Harts and Rusty, Holly back in the office, all the employees at the track, everybody in tech, officials, everybody hanging around trying to get that show in. Because when we get rain at 6:15 or so, as it came during qualifying, when we get rain that late, it's tough to dry the track. Once the sun starts going down, thank goodness it didn't rain for too long, and we had the air tighten. If it wasn't for all that, it might have been kind of touch and go. But again, everybody wanted to get that race in, and we wanted to get every single lap in. We came up just a little bit short, but we all stuck it out. I mean, it was a late night for everyone. Anyone that came for open practice, everybody was there from 9 o'clock until we called it at 12:15, whatever it was. So I think if that last rain shower hadn't come, we would have been good. If it wasn't a late start, we would have gotten through everything. But we tried our best to get all the races in. And for you Bomber guys, this Saturday, it's double features for you guys. And I did confirm with the track that all Bomber drivers are free this weekend. So if you have a Bomber and you want to come race with us for double features, you get free entry as the driver. If you have a wristband that you haven't used, I believe you can use those as well. But the Bomber drivers are free this weekend. So with the double features, we should have a good car count. I think there was 9 or 10 of them hiding in the pits trying to race on Thursday. So hopefully you all will come back and we'll have some good Bomber races. But let's cover the Clyde Hart Memorial here. As I see, we have some more viewers online with us now. It was a pretty good race. We had 13 cars. I was kind of hoping there'd be a few more. I'm not going to lie. It seems like that race has been drawing around 14, 15 the last few years. So we were at 13. Would have liked to, like I said, a couple more come out. That would have been nice, but 13 cars could have been worse. I appreciate all the guys who did come out, and maybe the weather scared some people, and if it was one of you guys, well, you missed out. So the race was dominated by Jeff Chiquette in the Jet Concrete number 9. I mean, what can you say about that team? They are absolutely on it in super late competition, not only in New Smyrna, but all around. They race at Five Flags. They go to Alabama. Wherever they show up, they're a contender. I made the mistake last year of counting Jeff out. They showed up with a backup car after their other car was wrecked. He didn't qualify well. I'm thinking, it's going to be Brad May, David Rogers, one of the regular guys. And then Chiquette stormed through the field, won the race, and in victory lane, I'll never forget this, but I was interviewing him, and he goes, "Man, and you counted me out. I was listening to your pre-race stuff, and you're talking about everybody but me." And he's like, "So that put me on a mission, and I proved you wrong." So this year, when I went down and talked to him, I said, "Hey, I didn't count you out this year," and he's like, "Yep, you learned your lesson." So anytime the Jet Concrete number 9 is there with Chiquette, you know it's going to be a factor. He led every single lap this year. Brad May pushed him to his limits. I thought Brad might have something for him around halfway, and I think once that caution came for rain, it kind of changed the game. Brad might have used his stuff up a little bit, and Brad had a new car out there. Looks like he ran the good off of it a little bit, but Brad made Jeff. He kept him honest out there, and it was still a good race. There wasn't a pass for lead or anything, but with Brad right there, it was some lap traffic. There were some dicey moves. There was some good racing back in the pack with Daniel Keene, Brandon Lynn, and some of those guys. They all made some contact, and I thought we were going to get a late race caution to change the game a little bit, but congrats to Jeff Chiquette and the Jet Concrete team for the dominating performance this year. They made it look easy out there, and if they come back for any of the bigger races this year, watch out for car number 9. Quick recap on the top 5. Jeff Chiquette did take the win. Brad May was second. David Rogers third, followed by Anthony Sergi and Michael Atwell rounding out the top 5. I really thought Atwell might be a dark horse in that race. He ran solid at the beginning, kind of faded back towards the top 5, but still got a top 5 out of the deal. In the point standings for the Super Lates real quick, Brad May right now with a 3-point lead over Anthony Sergi. Doug Elliott is third in points. David Rogers is fourth in points despite missing a race. And then Cole Anderson right now rounds out the top 5. Now the Supers have only had 4 races so far. We had some double features and stuff set up for them, and unfortunately Mother Nature's gotten in the way of quite a few of their races, so hopefully we'll see more of them throughout the second half of the season here. Also, race of the night for the Clyde Hart Memorials. Shout out to the modified guys. You guys were awesome. Good field of cars. There was 12 of them, our biggest field since Speed Weeks, and that race was fantastic. Things got a little wild with Robert Deal and Wayne Parker on lap 6. They got into it racing for the lead, but you know what? When you're racing for the lead, anything goes. So no harm, no foul there. I know the spotters weren't too happy with each other, but I mean, that really changed the whole race. It looked like Wayne Parker was going to go to the front and probably stay there for a while, but once that happened, it changed the game, and we saw a fantastic duel with Ricky Moxley, Jerry Simons, and Matthew Green. Ricky Moxley, very fast. I didn't know if he'd hold off Simons. Simons got to him, gave him a run for his money, and then there was some lap traffic that got in the way and really made things interesting. Late in the race, when the 24 had to pass the 17 of Curtis Robinson, that put Simons right on the back of the 24, and I thought Simons was going to get around him, and kudos to Ricky Moxley in that 24 for holding him off. But that race was the race of the night. A lot of people went home during the rain delay or in the Super Late Model race. A lot of people went home after the Super Late Model race, which I understand it was getting late. But if you stay for that modified race, that was worth the rain, the waiting, the late start, the fact that it was after midnight. That race was awesome. Best modified race I've seen in a long time. So kudos to you guys for a great run out there. Ricky Moxley took the win. Jerry Simons came home second. Matthew Green, pulling double duty, came home third. James Ellis was fourth. And then John Kaufman came home with a top 5. So nice to see Kaufman out there with a super late and a modified. So good to have those guys back with us. But Kaufman rounded out the top 5 in a good field of cars, a wild race. If you didn't see it, if you went home early and you missed it, you can check it out. Speedway video, our YouTube channel. You can check it out there. The full race is up now. So also, quick with the points. Sorry, Jerry Simons has a commanding point lead right now. Mike Dahm is up to second in points, followed by Alan Bruns, Wayne Parker, and Matt Thornton, rounding out the top 5 in modified points. And if you'd like to see these points, they are on our website, updated. Moving to the American Auto Sportsman Division, a pretty solid field of cars was on hand for this race, and it got pretty wild too. Sean Bass was out here for the first time during the regular season, and as usual, when the 28 car shows up, you know he's going to be a factor, and it looked like he was going to drive away with the win. Patrick Thomas was sitting there second, Sean Bass was running away with things, and then something let go under the hood, and that car started smoking, and they looked like Bass was going to try to ride it out, but they threw the caution. They brought him down pit road, and they checked him. They determined he was leaking fluid. He was done for the day. So Patrick Thomas inherited the lead and took home his 4th win of the season. 4 wins for Patrick Thomas in the 111 machine. So Thomas won. Vail was second. Jason Vail with a good run. Robbie Yoakum, making his first start in a Sportsman this season, came home third, followed by Earl Beckner. And then Cody Jett in the Jet Concrete 9 Sportsman car came home fifth. Quick update on the point standings. Jason Vail is our current point leader. Now, there was some wild stuff that went on about 10 days ago. Last time we raced on Saturday between Vail, Green, and Beckner. There were some fines handed down. I believe Jason Vail was originally disqualified. They gave him back his points, but they fined Jason Vail and Matthew Green. That was the end result of all that. Drivers not too happy about it. The track's holding their ground. They don't want to see anything after the checkered flag. They've made that clear. It's unfortunate what happened there. I hate seeing that kind of stuff for these guys, whether who is at fault or not. They just don't like seeing it under caution or after the checkered flag. They'd rather you all talk or have a civil conversation. So, unfortunate deal there, but Jason Vail getting his points back, now atop the point standings ahead of Earl Beckner, Patrick Thomas, Matthew Green, and Steve Barnes, rounding out the top 5 there for the American Auto Sportsman. Superstocks had an open rules race, $1,000 to win. We invited out the Camaros, the Novas, all those guys that always say, hey, we never get to race at your racetrack, open up your rules. And I got to say, Camaro guys, a little disappointed. I thought there'd be a couple more of you. But thank you to the guys who did come out. We had quite a few different players, which was nice to see. And still an overall good field. And honestly, one of the cleanest Superstock races we've had in some time. So well done, guys. It was very entertaining watching Justin Reynolds come from 10th on the starting grid, working his way up through the field in just 25 laps. He took home the win. Once he got out front, Justin was untouchable. 2 wins in a row now for Reynolds in the 38. He has not forgotten how to drive this place. So if Reynolds keeps coming back, he's going to be a threat every time he's here. So Justin Reynolds did win that race. Regular David Gould was second, followed by Travis Sukup with a very, very impressive run. Great run for the 45 of Sukup. Mike Amato, our current point leader, was fourth, and then coming home fifth was Kyle Peters, one of the Citrus drivers, I believe, came home in fifth. And again, it was a pretty clean race. I expected carnage, to be quite honest with you. So good job, good race for the Superstocks. It was still a good race. Don't get me wrong. It was very good. It was a lot of fun watching Reynolds fly from the back of the pack up to dominate and win the race. Quick update: there was no points for this Superstock race since it was an open rules race. We didn't want to throw the points in and screw up anybody's season. I know some guys like Bobby Hawley, John Hodge. They took the week off, or that race off, and said, you know what, you guys have at it. We're going to save our cars. We're running for points. But with the points, Mike Amato is your point leader now over Dale Howard. John Hodge is third, followed by David Gould, who unfortunately was disqualified a few weeks ago. So David's going to have to climb up from the fourth position. And then Mike Dahm rounds out the top 5 in Superstock points. Quick update on the Pro Late Model points in their 50 series this season. Ricky Moxley is the point leader, ahead of Dawson Fletcher, Andrew Franzone, Rod Butcher, and Dalton Smith. We'll see the Pro Late models for a couple more 50-lap events later on this season. Then in the Mod Minis, who have fallen victim to rain quite a few times, unfortunately, this year, Tyler Simpson is their point leader with David Russell second, Bobby Dooley third, Brad Blanton fourth, and Mark Brote rounding out the top 5. And then over to the Bombers. Man, I feel bad for you Bomber guys having to sit around all night and watching it rain and watching some races and watching more rain. I was lobbying up in the booth to get you guys on the track and see if we couldn't get your race in before it was called, but race control said they lost the racetrack. They asked the Sportsman guys if they wanted to go. Sportsman guys were trying to run their dash for cash. They said that they had lost the track, and at that point, with it being so late, they called the race, and I'm thinking, maybe we'll put the Bombers out there, but, you guys deserve a clean racetrack, too. So you'll get the double features on Saturdays, and again, Bomber drivers will be free pit admission this Saturday. So bring them on out. Let's have some great racing out of the Bombers. Nate Holycross, even though he sold his car, he was trying to run John McCormick's car, or Dan Webb's car, I'm sorry. Nate was trying to run Dan's car, and Pat has point lead, but unfortunately the rain spoiled that. So Nate might still have a shot at this championship if he hops behind the wheel of some other car. So we'll see what happens there. But Nate Holycross is the point leader over Dan Webb, John McCormick, John Delancey, and Michael Scannell rounding out the top 5 in the Bombers. So that gets you guys all up to date on what's been going on with the Clyde Hart Memorial, and quick recap of the points there. So let's talk about this week. I've mentioned it. The Bomber drivers getting in free in the pits, and all the fans for sticking it out the last few weeks. I know we've had a lot of rain. We had a Saturday night get delayed. Clyde Hart Memorial was on and off with rain, and we hate that on a big event. You guys paid good money, you fans, you drivers. So this week it's Fan Appreciation Week, half off front gate admission, general admission, $7 to come to the races to see 2 50-lap features, double Bomber features, modifieds, and ground pounders, and spectator races too. So all that for just $7. Bring a friend who hasn't come out in a while. Maybe you know someone who's, I don't go to New Smyrna anymore. Bring them back. $7. I mean, basically buy one, get one free if you bring a friend. So $7 to get in for general admission. Again, 2 50-lappers. The American Auto Sportsmen are going for 50. The Super Stocks are going for 50. Double Bomber features. They're always fun. I don't care if there's 3 cars, 6 cars, 10 cars. Bombers are fun. Or I'll make it fun anyway. Plus, we're going to have the Modifieds, who had a great race on during the Clyde Hart Memorial. The Ground Pounders, those classic vintage racing cars, will be there again. If you guys like that, I mean, those things are just fun to look at. Even if they don't, even if half of them break leaving pit road, they're fun to look at. So the Ground Pounders will be there, and then of course we're going to have the spectator races too. So all you guys who don't race, this is your chance. Bring out your jalopy. I don't know. Bring out your Wes, my buddy who's been announcing with me. He brings out his Camaro. He's unfortunately not going to be there, so you guys have a chance this week. Bring out your truck. We just ask that no convertibles, no motorcycles. If you have a helmet, bring it. If you don't, we'll find you one because we want you to be able to participate. So if you come to the races, pay your $7 general admission fee, you can race at New Smyrna for a cash prize. Usually it's $100. If you win the spectator races, you get a couple of heat races, and then you get a 5-lap feature. So if you've ever wanted to do it, this is your chance. It's good. It looks like a blast. If I didn't have to do my job, I would do it. Because who doesn't want to drive around the racetrack? You know, if you come out and you just putz around the track, just say you do it, that's fine too. You don't have to go all out. Just get out there, have some fun. The crowd loves it, so you'll get cheers no matter what. So it's all fun when the spectator races happen. Now, quick update on Friday. We are not going to have practice this Friday. We apologize for that. Of course, with all the rain, and anyone who's been racing there, you know the track conditions have been a little treacherous. So they're going to spend Friday working on the track, getting it ready. They've got a plan in place to make sure that we don't have to worry about any more of this seepage that's been going on. So they're going to spend Friday working on the track. So no open practice on Friday. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to open up an hour early. We were scheduled to open the pit gates at 4 with practice starting at 5. We're now going to open at 3 with practice starting at 4. So that'll give you guys some extra practice for those of you who wanted to come out for the Friday practice. You'll get a little bit extra practice on Saturday. So again, for you racers, gates opening at 3, practice will start at 4 instead of at 5. And then qualifying for Super Stocks and Sportsmen as well on Saturday. And if you were here earlier in the show, if not, I had some discussions with Adam, our new marketing guy, about doing some more to this show or integrating this show into something a little bit bigger. And what we've decided is that we're going to do a podcast on Saturdays before the races. And we'll throw some recaps in there. We'll talk racing. We'll see if we can't get some drivers to come in and talk to us. Start it slow, see where it goes. But we're going to be doing a podcast. It's going to be called the Pit Pass Podcast, and it'll be me and Adam, occasionally special guests. And we're just going to sit down and talk racing. Adam's been doing a great job behind the scenes and on Facebook, answering a lot of questions, putting a lot of stuff out there, giving away free tickets, asking trivia questions, getting on the Facebook Live, talking to you guys. So if you see Adam with the big beard, he's our new marketing guy. So if you see him around the pits, he might come up to you and ask for interviews or just to talk to you guys. So Adam's been doing a great job behind the scenes here and in front of the camera as well. So we're gonna start up a podcast this coming Saturday. as soon as I get there and we get the podcast recorded, we'll figure out, I'll let everybody know how you can listen to it. For those of you that like the Facebook Live recap thing, I'm still going to hop on here once a week and talk racing with you guys, answer any questions, anything you guys want to know. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out for you. So feel free to, while you're watching this, ask me questions, comment later. So I'm still going to do this as my little show. I know it's not much. It's just me sitting here talking to you guys. But hey, I'm an announcer. I like to talk racing. So instead of integrating this show or changing the way this show is going to go, I'm going to do this. I'm going to join Adam on the podcast. So we're going to have the video feature. We're going to have the podcast feature because some of y'all might not like watching video and sitting here for 10, 15 minutes listening to me talk. If you'd rather have it in podcast format where you can play it in your car. So we're gonna try to cover all our bases here instead of just doing one thing, and that's how it's going to be. So I'm going to do this during the week, recap everything, talk to you guys. Of course, we'll be live on Saturdays throughout the pits, try to give you all a pit walkthrough and do some driver interviews, and then we're going to do the podcast as well. So trying to get you all covered with the media, all you drivers. If you like exposure, we're going to try to get some more exposure for you guys because you guys are the show. So if you ever want an interview and you see me walking around, you see Adam walking around, let us know. We'll do it for you. We'll throw you up on Facebook Live. The fans love it. Give you guys a little exposure. We'll put the sponsor front and center. We're trying to take care of you guys. We want you to feel welcome, and that's my main goal is not just entertain the crowd, but it's to take care of you guys. I've gotten to know a lot of you drivers over the past 3 years or so, and you guys are like my family when I go to the racetrack, and that's how I want it to be. So I know I can't change the rules or make things go away or make this and that happen, but if there's ever anything I can do, give you some more exposure, talk about you, just let me know. That's what I'm there for. I appreciate all our fans, all the management, all you drivers. I appreciate it all. It's all a big family, whether you want to believe it or not, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Hotlap at New Smyrna. Appreciate you guys watching, either live or checking it out later. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. I'll try to answer them either on the podcast or on the next Hotlap show. But once again, I'm Ryan Stevens, and I've enjoyed talking racing with y'all. See you on Saturday. Have a good night, everybody.